Alrighty guys, what's going on YouTube? In response to the upcoming league, or patch 0.4, I thought it'd be fun to finish up a project that I started a couple of months ago in Abyss League. As many of you know, it is next to impossible to find a perfect exceptional item or base for crafting. This is because, aside from the rarity of the exceptional item itself, you must also get item level, the maximum item level, which is 82 in our case, the tier 1 base type for the weapon or armor you are making, which since we are doing a spear, is a spike spear. And on top of that, exceptional bases can roll with either one additional socket or with additional quality ranging from 21% to 30%. If you choose the former, you are guaranteed your result 100% of the time. If you want 30% quality, however, not only is it being filtered through the layer of having to be exceptional, a tier 1 base, and max item level, but it also only has a 1 in 10 chance, in theory, of being 30% quality. Anecdotally, I found about 200 or 300 exceptional quality bases last league. Only one of them was 30% quality, and about 85% of them were under 25% quality. So I do actually think that there might be a chance that they have them weighted so that they're less likely to drop with higher quality. I can't say that definitively, but even if it were just absolutely random, again, it would still be a 1 in 10. If you were to assume that half of the time exceptional bases drop with an extra socket and half the time with quality, this means that you would have to get the tier 1 base type at a maximum item level to drop as an exceptional base 20 times before achieving just the base that you need to start crafting on. With that in mind, midway through last league, I became aware of my actual character's tier 1 base type item level 82, 30 quality exceptional base hitting the market. To be honest, I kind of felt bad for the guy, as I had an item level 80 version posted for 400 divs, which is basically worthless, as item level 81 is needed for elemental, and item level 82 is needed for physical. Since we wanted quality and not the extra socket, that implied physical, since quality on martial weapons is a more multiplier to all local physical damage, but does nothing for elemental. With that in mind, I threw the item level 80 spike spear up for 400 divs, somewhat haphazardly. The guy selling the item level 82 spike spear must have seen this, but noticing that his was a higher item level, he posted his for slightly more, at 500 divs. I immediately bought it. I would have paid upwards of 5 mirrors. Lucky snipe. I know that this seems like a crazy amount for a simple crafting base. However, keep in mind that at the time, mirrors were around 1,500 to 2,000 divines, and Hinakora's locks were 250 to 300 divines. Naturally, I already knew that I wanted to make it a 6 times tier 1, and I would need to fracture the 5% crit. Since the base itself is one of a kind, that would mean that aside from rolling the crit mod, I would need to then divine it 60 times to get it to 5%, the range on crit being 4.41 to 5. And then I would need to lock the spear before fracturing it, since I could not afford to miss the fracture. This means that on average, I would need to spend 3 locks, which is exactly eventually how many it took. But that in of itself, that being the 3 locks, would be 750 to 900 divines at the time. Locks, while expensive, are not in short supply. Therefore, recognizing the reality of the fact that I would need to and was willing to spend that much money to simply fracture one mod, I was of course willing to spend just over half of that to get a one-of-a-kind base. Despite buying the spear 2 months ago, and it is still the only one to ever exist. It turns out doing so was a great idea, as GGG has announced that they are nerfing spear bases pretty much across the board, lowering Spike Spear's base crit from 6.5% to 6, and its base attacks per second from 1.6 to 1.5. On top of that, they are nerfing +4 to level of all attack gems, Suffix to +3. The patch notes state explicitly that previous items will not be affected by the change. This means that the spear that you before you will likely be, perhaps forever, the best spear that will ever exist. Now, while the spear is already crafted 6 times tier 1, I thought it might be fun to divine it in this video to its near maximum value, as I'm not sure if divining it following the new patch will cause the base attacks per second and crit to change. The patch notes say that the implicit is being added to compensate for the raw crit and speed loss will not be retroactively added. However, I'm not sure if the same extends to the base values. The reason I did not do this already, that being divining it, is because I was intending on sanctifying it. Since martial weapons dedicate all 3 of their prefixes to local physical damage scaling, martial weapons have base physical damage inherently, and the quality on physical weapons is a more multiplier to all of those, a sanctification rolls disproportionately favoring quality. Since if you increase, let's say, the base flat physical damage, the flat physical damage prefix with the sanctification, that flat physical then gets multiplied by the additive total of all increased physical damage percentage sources, which are the physical damage percent prefix, the hybrid prefix, and possibly the runes. And then the sum of that is then further multiplied by the quality. For example, if the sanctification gave, let's say, 10 flat or 10 average physical damage, and you had a total of 300% increased physical damage, even though that 10 flat damage even though only 10 flat average damage was sanctified, that 10 average flat damage would then get turned into 40 average damage, getting multiplied by the physical percentage. And then that 40 average damage would get multiplied by the quality at 30% by 1.3, resulting in 52 average damage. When you extrapolate that same effect across all three prefixes, as well as the attack speed suffix, which also impacts the base PDPS, you can end up with some very crazy numbers. I also crafted the best elemental spears to exist this league, and the best physical spear to exist last league, so it wasn't a cherry-picked decision on my part to do so. And here's the elemental one and the other ones I have listed on the site. Last league, prior to exceptional bases, a 6 tier 1 Fizz Spear perfectly divined on a spike base would have been 1,044 PDPS. With 30% quality this league, that same exact roll ends up being 1,117 PDPS. And with a perfect sanctification on that same 30 quality base, it ends up being 1,450 PDPS. Not to mention the +4 to attack gems can go to +5, all of which is now legacy and will no longer be obtainable. Because of that, it doesn't make a ton of sense to sanctify it, since I would then never be able to let people mirror it. Therefore, it does now make sense to define the spear the best that I can. Realistically, we're aiming for anything above 1100 PDPS. To divine it 100% perfectly, it would be a 1 in 10 for the physical percentage, a 1 in 5 for the hybrid physical, a 1 in 26 for the accuracy, a 1 in 14 for the bottom range of flat fizz, a 1 in 23 for the top range of flat fizz, a 1 in 60 for the crit, a 1 in 3 for the attack speed, and +4, of course, has no range. That would total to 1 in 75,348,000 divines. Since we have our crit fractured, for us, it would be 1 in 1,255,800 divines. If you disregard the accuracy roll, which most people do in these scenarios, it would be 48,300 divines. That means that it would equal 2,898 mirrors, 483 mirrors, or 19 mirrors, respectively, in average cost to hit a perfect divine. With this in mind, we will be perfectly content to take anything above 1100 PDPS. Since both the second best and third best spears are also mine, as well as the first, second, and fourth best elemental spears, I am sure that the competition or market will not mind. As a quick TLDR for the steps to craft the 6T1, step 1 is to get a 30 quality item level 82 Spike Spear Exceptional base. That costs around 500 divs. Step 2 is to take a perfect transmute, perfect augment, and a null cycle until hitting tier 1 physical percentage. That costs 50 divs. Once hit, use dextral annuls and annuls on the magic base and perfect augments until hitting tier 1 crit chance. That costs about 500 divs. We then want to divine it until the crit is 5%. That takes 60 divs. We then use a homogenized coordination and perfect reroll, which was 1 div. Then we add a preserved jawbone. Then we use a Hinakora's lock, hovering with a fracturing orb until the crit chance forecast is the fractured mod moving to crit. That took us 3 locks, so that costs about 850 divs. The next thing that we're going to do is roll that third mod. First of all, we would remove the desecrated mod. And then we would roll that third mod, which is the non-physical percentage one that we regaled, with a whittling until it hits either tier 1 flat fizz or hybrid fizz. Since fizz percentage is item level 82, and it is the only mod that is item level 82, and the crit is fractured, that third modifier will always be the lowest item level mod. You can also stop when that eventually hits tier 1 physical damage leached as life or mana, doing so twice, and then exalting, so that all of your whittling rolls will now roll a prefix, which would have the amount of whittlings needed, since it won't roll suffixes every 1 and 2 whittles, which is what I did. The Fizz Leech mods are both suffixes, and they're both item level 81, right? So you would, when you then exalt, that would mean that you'd have the 3 suffixes filled and then the Fizz percentage. And so the second prefix that you're whittling, it would always be the lower item level. And if it does hit one of the item level 81 modifiers, which would be tier 1 elemental damage with attacks, tier 1 flat fire, cold, and lightning. If it hit one of those, you could, you just use a 1 sinestral erasure combined with the whittling, since the merciless is always the highest prefix. You just do that once and then just go back to whittling it. And as a result of that, because if you just have the 3 mods, right, that second prefix would roll half of the time, it would roll into a suffix, half the time into a prefix. And since it takes, 100, 200 whittlings to do it, obviously you don't want the additional cost associated with having it hit a suffix half of the time is I think it was probably around 1,000 divs. So that's strategically typically the better idea to go through there. And that's what we did. After hitting the second tier 1 physical prefix, you use an Ancient Jawbone and Omen of Light, as well as the Abyssal Echoes, and you just cycle that until you get the third physical modifier. So you can see in our case, we got the Hybrid as the second mod, and then we got the Fizz Flat as the third prefix. Afterwards, we would then use the Dextral Annul and Annul to remove the suffixes, which in our case would have been Leech's Mana, Leech's Life. And then we would use the Greater Exalted Omen, Homogenized Omen, and Perfect Exalt, which would give us 2 homogenized suffixes. And we would be aiming to hit tier 1 attack speed there. And if we don't hit the tier 1 attack speed doing that, we would then use a Dextral Annul and Annul twice to remove both of those suffixes and just repeat that process till you hit tier 1 attack speed. After you do get the tier 1 attack speed, you then use a Dextral Crystallization and a Perfect Essence of Attack to add +4, which would give a 50% chance to remove the non-tier 1 attack speed suffix. The first time I did this, it did unfortunately remove the tier 1 attack speed, but the second time it landed and it got to the state that it is in currently. The cost estimates that I provided there are approximations, but the final result, not including this divining session we're about to do, was approximately 3 mirrors at the time. I would consider this a very good result. This would have cost an order of magnitude more than the previous leagues, and significantly more, if it were even possible, in this upcoming league, due to the absence of abyssal crafts, exceptional currency, and homogenized omens in the previous leagues, and the lack of homogenized omens in future ones. Now that boilerplate is done, let's divine. I'm estimating this is probably going to cost us somewhere between 550 or 1,100 divines. Luckily, I have about 55,000 divines worth of liquid currency right now, as you can see, so we should be in good shape, but wish me luck. And for those of you who didn't see the previous video covering the 0.4 release for crafting and how to strategically approach that without the use of homogenized currency, one of the things I announced is that I will now be posting all of the scripts, data, information, spreadsheets, and stuff I use to make these videos for YouTube members on the posts there on the membership page. So this video as well has the script attached. I've already posted that on the member page, and that'll have a little step-by-step here, as well as some sort of bonus stuff. If you go to that membership page here, you'll be able to see that I've just put a bunch of these different documents up, and it'll, if you click those, it'll give you all the scripts and information. And so everything that I do going forward will be there. There are 3 tiers of membership packages. All 3 of them have access to this, and the cheapest one is about $2 a month. So if that's something you're interested in, you can check that out, and thank you guys for the support in that respect. But yeah, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get to divining here, boys. Alrighty. So again, we are looking for. Let's see if I can put this into a more convenient tab. Okay, I gotta take these off. It's gonna bug me. There we go. All right, so yeah, we want to get over right now. Sorry, by the way, it is 1063. Wait, did we just hit it? Oh, 1075. Oh, that's such. Oh my god. We got 37 to 66 and 28. Oh my god, getting better than this is going to be so hard. Oh. That's that's max top end damage, 2 bottom end damage off perfect, 3, and then it's 6 there. So we're missing 9 fizz percent and 2 flat damage. And it's only 1075. Ooh, this is maybe going to cost more than I thought it would. All right. 1007. The flat fizz is by far the most impactful thing here. 1060. I remember when I did this. Ooh, 35. 1062. I remember when I did this last league. 1048. When I did it last league, 1 flat damage. So like you see the max roll is 39 to 66. If it were 38 to 66, that 1 bottom end flat damage reflected 5 PDPS. So at a bare minimum, it would be 5. It might be even 6 with this now because of the quality. But that means that if we want to get at least 1100 and the max roll is 1117, that means at most we can afford to have 3 total flat damage from maximum. And that would also require us to have probably at least, if the max on the fizz roll is 258, so we have to probably get at least 257, 3 off there, and the attack speed also has to be 28. So I'll probably actually just pay attention, looking through these mostly to the fizz flat, because if I pull that thing up too often, we might actually get rate limited. 1050. Oh, 39 to 64. Oh, 1084. Damn. Oh, this is close too. Look at that. We're missing 3, 6. So we're missing 6% on this and 2 flat damage. 6% and 2 flat damage is 1084. 6% off and 2 flat damage equals 1084. So that was what, 252? 252. I'm just writing these numbers down so like mentally I can keep in mind what to stop for. $10.58. Oh, 37 to 60. Oh! No! 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 What's this one? Missing 1%. I don't think we're gonna beat this. I think I might stop on this one. We're missing 1% and 2 average damage. 2 flat damage. Oh my god. 257% and 2 flat damage equals what was that? Oops. 1098. I hate when I set these like arbitrary like round number things for myself, and then you get something like this, and it's just like you seem like a coward for not following through. But like the accuracy roll is also, again, we're probably gonna not really pay too much attention to that. That's also really high up. So we had 1084, which was 6% off and 2 flat damage. So that's 257. So that means we had 5%, which reflected 14 PDPS. So 14 divided by 5, that means we're getting 2.8 PDPS per percentage. Oh my god, what are the odds of beating that? So it's a 1 in 10. All right, so if it's 2.8%, 2.8 per percentage point, let's see here. So it's 41 plus 76. That's the base fizz plus 39 plus 66 is 222 total flat damage. Divided by 2 is the average damage, which is 111. And so 1% fizz would be divided by 100 and then times 1.3 and then times 2.58, 258, 268, 3.76. Okay, 111 times 3.76 times 1.3, and then the attacks per second is times 2.05. Let's see here. Wait, sorry. 41 plus 76. And then we got 39 plus, plus 66 divided by 2, and then 258, 268, 276 times 3.76, and then we get times 1.3 for the quality, and then times 2.05. Oh, sorry, it's not 1117, it's 1112. 1112. So this is 14 off. God, that's so good as it is. Maybe we'll pull up Twitch chat here. I haven't had Twitch chat up in a while. I'm streaming this live too. Twitch chat, what do we think? Keep it or no? Don't settle? I mean, I would hardly call this a settle. It's 179 out of 179, 78 out of 79, 37 out of 39, 66 out of 66, 28 out of 28, 5 out of... Is it perfect? No, the absolute perfect would be 1,112 PDPS, and we have 1,098. I was initially aiming to get... Oh, did we just... That just... Oh my god, fucking thing bricked up. There we go. All right. It... that bugged out there, got stuck. Let's reopen it. So, like, literally, if we got one more... All right, well, so let's assume we need to get at least one... We can maybe have one flat damage off max, right? So if that is a 1 in 14 times 1 in 23, 14 times 23 is 322. So it costs 322 divines on average to get it perfect. And if we can have one off on either end, or divide that by 2, I guess. 166. 161 divs on average to get that. And then we can have, if it's 2.8, we can get like 4 off of those. So that's a 1 in 5, 1 in 50, 1 in 12. So times 12. Yeah, it would cost like 1,900 divs-ish. I'm like rough estimate. I don't know if my math was correct there, but about 1,900 divs. I have far more than... I just have that in a separate tab. I have like 50,000 divs. I have 15 mirrors, 3 locks, 87 divs, 2,000 homogenized exils. I'm also just thinking about the length of the video here. You know what? I said I'd go for 1,100, and I know people on YouTube are going to call me a coward. Fuck me. All right. The things that I do. For bullies. For bullies online! The funny thing is, too, I'm competing against myself here. Like the... 1074. $39 to 63. 1085. So this is, again, we're missing 3 average damage here, but this one is 254. So 254 with 3 average damage. 54, 3 flat equals, what was that, 1080, 1085. So that's like the 3rd highest we've got so far. I think, oh my god, look at that. Damn. That perfect top end. Oh, and it got perfect accuracy. Oh! 1035. What a range, eh? What a range. Realistically, I think it's going to come down to the... Watch us, like, eventually, like, get this perfect flat fizz roll. And when we do, we're going to get, 32 to 66. Let's get the... We're just going to have... like some god-awful 1050. We're gonna have some 33 to 66. 1044. Some god-awful fizz percentage roll. Or I'm gonna do something like 38 to 66. No! This is only 1 flat fizz off perfect, but we didn't get the percent. Ugh, okay. What's this one? That's 1050, 253 with 1 flat equals, what was this? 1092. So that's our 2nd highest so far. God damn it. Ugh. You know what's funny about this, actually? If we got perfect prefixes and the attack speed rolled 26, it would actually probably be cheaper to just redo the suffixes, like dextral and nullum, and just get the attack speed, like get a perfect attack speed roll that way. I would actually legit do that. 37 to 66. What's this one? 1084. Yeah, we've got that exact roll already. But yeah, if we got 100% perfect prefixes, I'm promising this now, we're actually going to just redo the entire suffixes. 38 to 60. All I'm watching here because I know, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, it might seem like I'm clicking this very quickly. All I'm watching is the flat fizz on the bottom line of text. The 1077. And I'm looking for anything like 63 plus. 1050. Oh, actually, wait, what's this one? Okay, wait, this is 252, which we've already had. Right, 252%. And it's 9 flat off. 9 flat. And this is, because now we can find out how much. So that's 1050 equals 1050 because we had 6%. We had 252 with 2 flat damage off, and that was 1084. So that means that 7 flat damage is 34. 34 divided by 7. 4.85. Yeah, so it's about 5 again, I guess. I can't tell you how that roll we had was like, oh, the one that got 1098. I feel like that's gonna be tough to beat. Ooh, 57, 1073. What was a bit of a bummer too was that as those of you who might maybe, like, I know people are watching stream now, but this is a comment more to people watching this in the future on YouTube. If you checked me out on stream in the past or the final couple weeks of the league, I was just mapping the whole time. Normally I have a massive shortage of gold, but I actually had like millions and millions of gold because I've been mapping so much. And I was a little disappointed when the leagues merged to find out that the gold total that you have from the league is just discarded, because I only had like 1,000 gold in standard, because at various occasions I've gone over there to do like little crafts or whatever just for fun, to pass time if I get bored in league, and just buying things on the currency exchange. I'd also, in the process of doing that previously, 37 to 66. 1093, damn! So this is 2 off with 255% and 2 flat equals, so I think that's our second highest now, 1093. What was our 1098 one? 2 flat and 257. So that 2% was, yeah, that was 2, that represented 5%, so 2.5 versus 4.5. Yeah, all right. Well, that's our second best. We're at, we've got 1098, 1093, 1092. Those are our top 3 right now. So I think basically we're probably, whoa. What's that? 30? Oh, that's 34 to 66. That's not going to be good enough. We're most likely going to need either a 65 or a 66 roll, I think. That's what, 2 off, 3 off, 1076. I guess technically what I could do as well is, actually, no, that wouldn't be practical. I was going to say I could get the, I could just get the flat fizz over and over with the desecration, but flat fizz is a really rare mod. And you'd have to get it like 300 times, 34 to 66. 35. Oh, that's perfect percentage. What would that be with, this is missing 4. Okay, wait, so we can take the same flat here. Oh. And then just do times 2.05. So 371 plus 694 divided by 2 times 2.05, 1091. 5.25, because yeah, this has perfect fizz. So yeah, 1 point of flat is 5.25 DPS. So that means at most we can can't have 3 of them then, yeah, so we can only ever have 2. We can have 2 off max. Total. So that means I just visually, 38 to 66. 38 to 64, sorry. That means visually I just have to watch for 64, 65, and 66 here with my divines. And then if it is 64, 65, or 66, I can just dart my eyes to the left to check the bottom end and see if it's also within 2 of the max. Oh, I think I'm about to run out of divines there, aren't I? Oh, that's 2 off. 1063. Oh, the fizz roll's too low. Rippity-doo-dah, rip. Oh, I got 87 more. Okay. I'm definitely going to have to put timestamps on this on YouTube. 1088, that's pretty high. 1088. That's 3 flat and 3%. What's that? I'll mark that one down. Maybe I don't think we've got that one before. 255, 3 flat equals 1088. Oh my god. Fucking, if that were a 38 instead of a 28, I think that would have been enough. I think the most realistic scenario in which we get this is going to require me to redo the suffixes, TBH, but we'll see. Okay. It's not that difficult to do though, since we have homogenized. I think it takes like something like 50 perfect exalts, 3966. Damn, this actually is one where if that were 10 higher, that would have been perfect. Okay. All right. Well, since per usual, we listen to peer pressure and get cut. How much gold do I have? 200,000. Okay, 300 for 248,000. Oh, I don't have any divs, right? Shoot. Sorry for the detour here. Okay, so we got another 311. We'll have to keep track. What did I have at the beginning there? It was like 630. Actually, I think it was 637. I can always watch the video back after to find out. Oh, 39 to 65. 1073. That's 5 plus 3 is 8%. That's too much. Damn, look, we got the perfect. Shoot. $37 to 66. But the fizz percent cucked us. Cucked us. Oh, 38 to 64. That's too low. 38 to 64. Again. Also too low. God, I might actually have to edit this VOD. Before posting it. Oh my god. Fucking thing. What is it again on this one? 1063. Oh. This is 375 plus. That's 1088 roll with the attack speed. Oh, 39 to 64. Oh, this might be it, boys. This might be it. We might have to redo the attack speed, but this might be it. 1086. 389 to 681. No! Oh my god, that would show up as 1097. Mm. $256. 2 flat. 1097. That's our second best one. The best one we had was 257 and 2 flat. So we actually have to get 1 flat, unless it's 258, which is oh no, sorry, 256. Yeah, unless it's 258 and 2 flat. So 258, which is a perfect. If we get a perfect fizz roll and a perfect hybrid roll, it can be 2 flat damage off. Otherwise, it needs to be only 1 flat damage off. So realistically, what I need to watch for, see, this is 1069. I'll still, 39 to 65. Oh, 258. Wait, I think we got it. That's only 1 flat damage and it's perfect. I'll have to redo the suffixes. Wait, 391 plus 689 divided by 2 times 2.05. We did it! We did it! Well, sorry, we still have to redo the suffixes to be clear. I'm like legit gonna have to restart the suffixes. Oh my god, look at that. It's perfect fizz percent, perfect hybrid, perfect bottom end, 1 off the top flat end. Oh. That's literally like 1. Again, we're gonna have... Oh wait, shit. I should recalculate the cost here. I forgot that we're not just gonna have to get the attack speed 1 time. You have to get it twice on average because of the attack skills. But it also has to be 28%. Maybe what I'll do is the first time I get the 28%, since that would mean we have to get it 3 times on average, right, to get the 28% attack speed. But then it's also a 50-50 for the attack skills essence to remove that. Maybe we'll do a Hinakora's lock, maybe. The accuracy doesn't matter at all. The range is 26 flat accuracy. That's 10 flat accuracy. They also, the only thing that accuracy was good for was Falcon Dive, and they nerfed it. All right, Control C. Let's make some bad decisions. Goodbye, attack speed. Actually, maybe it's a good idea to put it first. One second, let me do a quick sim right here. So we have to do it 88 times 3. 88 times 3. Each attempt would be 5 divs. 8 divs, and then half the time we'd need to, so 12, 18, 26. 6,864 divs versus 24, 29, and 32. And then two locks on average. Basically the same cost. What do you guys think would be better? I guess having the double attempt at the attack speed is actually probably better because the variance is smaller. Still do that. Okay. Here we go. Accuracy crit bonus. Life gain on hit. Double leech. Oh, tier 2 attack speed. God damn it. Oh, tier 2 attack speed again. Okay, so we've got tier 2 attack speed twice now. Plus 4 melee. Oh, look at that. Tier 2 attack speed, tier 2 crit bonus. It's 3 times on tier 2 attack speed. 3 times on tier 2 plus melee. Oh, plus melee for the 4th time. Okay, this is actually kind of annoying me having to click like that. Let's do this instead. That. Oh, tier. The cost for this, expected cost was like, just to get the attack speed here, the divine, so we just, the divine just for the prefixes is a 1 in 8,800. And then the suffix to get the attack speed is like 6,000 or 7,000 divs on average. And it was multiple mirrors to get that before. On a base type, this is a one-of-a-kind base. And it's also going legacy in 2 days. So it's now or never to do it. I actually already had the suffixes done, except when we divine, like the correct suffixes, but the divine did the perfect prefixes basically, except it rolled the bottom range of the attack speed, except it was cheaper to get the tier 1 attack speed again as a suffix, even if we had to do it 3 times, since the range is 26 to 28, than it was to get tier 1 crit bonus. Oh, you have greater annulls? Yes. I will take greater annulls. I tried to buy some off a guy a few minutes ago, but thanks, dude. He wouldn't sell me them. Oh, we got it! Oh, it's 28%! Yes! 1,107! 1,107! Oh. Guys. And it hit the first lock. Are you ready, boys? The best spear that has ever existed and that will ever exist. Oh my God, we did it. Oh. Look at that, guys. Wow. $1,107 PDPS. Let's find out what the next best one is. $1,004. Wait, let's do any. 1,029 from TFT. I think we handled that. And it's, look at that, 1,029 with 10% crit. We've got 1,107 with 11.5% crit. All right.